Morning. My name is Ray. I'm with Team S.t.e.a.m. This morning I'm here at Flash Industrial Painting. And if you saw the last video or the last segment of this video, depending on how I've cut it, you saw that we put some green on this truck. Now, today we're going to go ahead and mask up all the green so we can go ahead and finish prepping to get the gray on. So we got all this shot. Now I'm going to get out my vinyl tape and start making some sense of it. And these pipes, those two panels, they're all going to leave. They're going to go outside for a day or two. Need to make room for some other stuff that's got to come in here and get prepped yet. And so we're getting some of this masked up. Get the fenders masked up. Got to get that door unmasked and get it out of here. And what we've got going here, I'll show you. So this is kind of what I had in mind. You see it's got that kind of accent. It almost kind of puts it in quotations. Now they can put a sign on there or whatever they want to do. And see, here's the other side, kind of the same thing. We're busy masking up the fenders, the hubs. And the fenders, you know, they gotta be masked around all these details. This is where my boys shine. I'm a good masker as well, but it's really nice having really good maskers working for you, so you don't have to mess with stuff like this. I can just keep going with what I'm doing. On a day like today, I'm just laying out all this vinyl. I'm running around in front of them, laying out all the vinyl, and they're keeping up between the two of them, patching in all this technical stuff. You can see we still have that last thing there to do. They're at lunch right now, and that's how we work so well and so quickly as a team. Quickly considering the level of masking we're doing. All right, well, now we got the masking done. I just turned the boys loose. We'll just we'll have a little look at what we did. I went with a smaller version of the same design on the bumper, split the bumper, which I had intended to do the entire time. You can see I purposely didn't even paint there. And then I tried to avoid a direct collision with whichever side they decide to put the license plate on. Fenders are all masked up, everything else is masked up. Over here on the side, same thing. And then, this was not lazy. We'd have been better off just throwing plastic right around the old handrails, but I'm not always trying to be lazy. I tried to tie the whole thing together. And so that's what we've done on all the handrails. And the selected large flat surfaces. Masked up the entire wheel. You're gonna pull your plastic tight when you're masking up fresh paint that's only a day or so old, because otherwise the plastic could stick in it. Not that the paint is sticky, but plastic will just sit and hide against it. And by the time you get it pulled up, it'll leave marks in it. So here's the rest of the handrails and the other side. And now I have that console that I have to mask similarly, and the panels that go on the back of the console that need to be masked similarly. And then we'll get the gray prepped and we'll get it shot. Now we've got the masking all done here. One thing that concerns me, and that's cracked all the way through everything, including the conduit, all the way around the corner, all the way up into there, almost around that corner. And it's one of two posts that holds up this hydraulic reservoir. So it's not going to do too much more bouncing down the highway before it overstrains this joint and that one. And then who knows. And normally I don't go welding every time I find a crack, because I do so much of this type of equipment that there's cracks everywhere. You're always finding cracks. And I'm not a certified frame welder, and you gotta be careful when you're welding on stuff like this, because then you become responsible for its success and continued success for however many years they choose to run it. So I'm careful about what I'm gonna weld on and what I won't, but they're gonna see this when it's in gray. They're gonna wish they'd welded it, then they're gonna have to weld it, then it's gonna need touched up. So I might as well just weld that while it's here. I got a welder that'll go to a 1/4 inch. That's probably all the thicker that is. So we're gonna weld that up before we go much further into the process of painting it. All right, so we got some welding done on it. I'm not the best welder around, but that'll definitely hold it together. This was just a mess of cracks. That's why it's a mess of welds. It turned out okay. We are just about to wrap this guy up. Getting all the sanding done. Just about ready to blow it off. Be blowing it off here in a few minutes, and then we'll be looking at right down the barrel and paint. Now, most dual action sanders or S.t.e.a. sanders will come when you buy them with a 6-inch pad. And so that's the most typical size that we use here in the auto body industry. 6-inch pad. Little 1/4-inch screw right there, a 1/4-inch thread. And that screws right into the bottom of any S.t.e.a. sander. But if the spot that you're sanding is smaller than that, and you can't get this in there, but there's quite a surface that needs to be sanded, what you can do is take one of these, turn it into a sacrificial lamb, which I have many sizes of these, by the way, but when they start getting worn out, and when they wear out, they tend to wear out right here on the edges first. So when they do that, take your worn out ones, don't throw them away, throw them in a pile. Then when the time comes that you need a smaller one, see the size difference? All I did was just take 10 snips. Just shop scissors will work too. 10 snips, shop scissors, and cut it down to a size that you want. This is probably a 4-inch pad, and I have one smaller, and I have a couple that are slightly bigger. And then you can put it on there and get right into the like channel iron and places like that where you wish you had a slightly smaller S.t.e.a. That's how you do that. Then you just put your paper on. I've just run 6-inch paper on it because who cares? It's not gonna, in this case, hurt anything. In fact, it's gonna help a little bit because it'll sand up around the corners. But here's my case in point. This is just a bit wide for that 6-inch pad to get in there at all. I can't get it in there. But this, as you can see, I've already sanded that. It's right in there. That'd have been a lot of scratching to have to do with a scuff pad, but instead we're doing it with this. So that's a good little trick to avoid having to buy smaller pads. Before I go any further though, unfortunately, I have to go outside and hopefully beat a rainstorm here and get the last of this sandblasting done. See over my shoulder, that's some potential rain coming in. I got to get this done before that happens. And I'm working on this podium for this well cementer that we're working on. And it showed up after the truck did, so I didn't get a chance to get it with the rest of the truck, but I've got to get it now. So if you guys want to come along, all right, gang, looks like we beat the rain. I'm not sure that it is going to rain, but it looks like it might. Either way, I can get this thing carted in now and get on with blowing the rest of this thing off and getting it ready for primer. All right, we're about 10 feet up on the wall here, maybe higher. This is a 12-foot ladder. We're almost at the very top of it. And this is where I've set the camera. This is where this camera's been many times for a lot of my shoots, and that's where it's going to be for this shoot. And the way this is going to go down is the way that it always goes down. I'm going to do the wheels in white at the same time I'm doing the gray. So I'm going to prime the wheels in white, and then I'm going to prime all this steel in white. And the reason I'm going white instead of gray is because that way I can tell where I'm at when I'm painting. When you're doing gray over gray, you might miss spots and have spots when you're finished with something this intricate. There could be entire individual pipes or fittings or anything like that, or a side of something or an entire little area that's the same color gray, but it didn't actually get painted. So I just always prime in white when it comes to gray. So I'm going to prime the wheels in white, prime the entire thing in white, and then I'm going to paint the wheels white, paint all the gray, and then come back as soon as all the gray's done and go over the wheels with one more quick coat of white through light pressure so we don't get a lot of overspray in the air. And that'll be it.